What's going on, family? How are y'all doing this wonderful Tuesday? Maybe I should start using adjectives every time I record a podcast. But hope y'all are doing well on this terrific Tuesday. Yeah. So this is the first episode of my brand new podcast called Adamant. I'm not sure why I chose that specific name. I was like, I have this podcast with my wife. My wife and I are called Happily Hendersons, and you can find that podcast on any podcast platform. But, I wanted to do something by myself. I wanted to just have an opportunity to share my heart. When I started to brainstorm, topics and ideas and even the name for my personal podcast, I came up with things like, a strong black man, or I wanted to do hear my heart, because I say that often when I'm, speaking with people, because I try to be very conscious about, how people perceive what I'm saying. So I was doing some research and even looked at, different names for podcasts, just trying to get some inspiration, and I wanted an adjective. I was trying to find an adjective that can really describe who I am. I am strong. I am black. I am a man. An overcomer, victorious. I'm a husband. I'm so many different things, right? But when I saw the word adamant, I immediately just leaped out of my seat where I was because that word just kind of hit me hard. Because if you look at the definition of adamant, which this first episode is going to just talk about who I am as an individual, what this podcast is going to be about. But when you look up the word adamant, it means refusing to be persuaded or to change one's mind. So if you look at the similarities, the synonyms to what adamant means, it's unshakable, immovable, inflexible, unwavering, uncompromising. I really believe that describes me, who I am. Someone who is unshakable. Listen, I've been through a lot of stuff, and I'm going to go into detail and be transparent throughout the podcast. Like, I'm going to share my heart and, experiences that have shaped the mind that I have today. Some things are going to be therapeutic. How I talk about, for example, topics like adultery, poverty, bondage, spiritually and somewhat physically. Talk about success. Talk about challenges that I faced in ministry, in marriage, financially, right? There are so many things that I can go into, but one thing that I will always be is I will be adamant about life. Nobody's going to change my values, my beliefs, because at the end of the day, one thing that never changes is my trust and my faith in God. Listen, I've been through some tough situations. I've been through some interesting moments in my life where if it was anybody else, excuse me. So my computer is just gonna have its sound on while I'm trying to record this podcast. You're not gonna mess up my vibe, Mac. You're not gonna mess me up. But just excuse that little ding. Maybe I could have used it as like an effect. But I've been through some challenging moments in my life where if it was anybody else, they probably would give up. I've even expressed, who I am as a delivered believer, as someone who has overcome, certain cultural norms or the lack thereof. And I've received a lot of flack, but I'm not going to be persuaded to give up or turn my face from God, because He's always been there. And so, that's why I named the show Adamant, because I refuse to be persuaded. When I first got saved, I met my girlfriend, who is now my wife, and I started visiting her church. And they used to sing this song, "Precious Jesus, How I Love Thee." And there's a part in this song that says, "I am persuaded, Lord, to love you. I have been changed to bless your holy name." I'm persuaded to love Him. God is so good. And I'm not trying to preach to y'all on the first episode. I'm just, sharing my heart in that aspect. And I am so persuaded, guys. I'm telling you, when you find that revelation, when you have that revelation of who God is in your life, I'm sure you're going to feel the same way that I feel. And many of you probably already do. So, y'all bear with me on this journey. I'm telling y'all, this is going to be an amazing podcast. I'm going to challenge you guys sometimes. I'm going to be honest about certain things. I'm going to receive judgment. I'm going to get a lot of flack. But you know what? It's going to be okay. I'm going to be all right. Because I'm going to be Adam. And you're going to be you. And that's all that we can do in this present moment. Okay? But I'm excited about what's going to come. Maybe this would be something that's consistent in my life, because I have an issue with consistency. And so I was nervous about actually creating this podcast and actually doing it. Number one, by myself, because I'm like, who's going to listen to me? Who's going to listen to Adam, pour out his heart, pour out his mind? Who is going to? I don't even care if I get one listener, because I know somebody needs to hear me. Somebody wants to hear me. Somebody is going to hear something that I'm going to say that may be a help to them. And that's all I can do. That's all I can ask for, That's all I try to do. So I'm here for it. I'm here for this season. First season of Adamant. Sometimes I'm going to have some, surprise guests that can, share some ideas, and we can have conversation. Man, it's going to be fun. But I'm going to do my best to be consistent. I feel like this can be that consistent thing in my life, because, I've tried, YouTube, and, I created this series called A Singer's Truth. Only did one season. Y'all, that one season was good, though. I enjoyed it. But that was in 2020. Y'all, it's 2022. Yeah, I need to get back to what really need to get back to, because I really enjoyed talking to people. We talked about music, we talked about church and ministry and life and all that stuff like that. And so season 2, I was excited about going and talking to more people, and so I need to get back into that. So I'm going to, finish the works that I've started. Just gotta, give me some grace. Give me some grace. Oh my goodness. Speaking of grace, I had an experience. I probably will talk about that in another episode. But I had an experience where, it made me question someone's salvation, because I was like, man, I have grace for you. Where's your grace for me? I got to share that story with you. Maybe one day, but not today. I just wanted you to get to know Adam. So anyway, y'all, I know I rambled on. I had a purpose. I just wanted you to introduce, I wanted to introduce myself to you. Okay, so in this last, I would say 30 seconds, I'm just going to tell you a little bit about me. I'm Adam Henderson. Adam Lee Henderson is what I go by in my acting career. So I am an actor, a working actor, not just an aspiring one. When someone once told me, when you go on auditions, you are a working actor. So I'm a working actor, and I've had a few roles, and I'm thankful for that. But I'm married. My wife and I are celebrating 10 years in September. I'm so excited about that. We're having a vow renewal. It's going to be amazing. It's going to be so beautiful. I'm an educator. I taught for 7 years, and this is my 8th year in the classroom, and I have been promoted to now an academic coach, which basically focuses on students that are struggling academically, and I try to create an opportunity to bring them to where they need to be so they can be successful. And I love that. I love what I do. And I'm even at this point thinking about how can I go to the next level in education. I didn't know I was going to be in education this long. And I've quit quite a few times, and that'll be another episode where I share my heart on how, education has been a roller coaster for me. But I am a minister. I'm not ordained in the new organization that I'm in, but I was once ordained and but licensed to minister. But I'm a part of an amazing church here in Lynchburg, Virginia. Don't want to divulge the name. If you follow me on social media, of course, you probably know what church I go to, but this is a podcast, and I'm not going to go into that route. But I love my church. I love my pastor. I love what I do for ministry. I do sing a little. I'm on the praise team. Outside of ministry, I'm very engaged. I love videography. I love to create. And so I have a YouTube channel. Now that I'm actually creating a new YouTube channel, and I started a production company called Red Shelter Productions, and I can go into that another time as well. I'm throwing out topics and telling you that I'm gonna go into detail another time. But I've gone beyond 30 seconds. But yeah, a little bit more about me. I'm starting a production company called Red Shelter Productions, so I can focus on mastering the artistry and creativity of videography, entertainment, film. I love film. Hence why I want to be an actor. What else? I'm not a father yet. I'm hoping that will be soon. I would love to share my story on that journey. That's been a journey by itself. But yeah. So I love you guys. You guys are an amazing, amazing support system for me. This has been therapeutic. I really feel a little bit better. Like this morning I woke up, and I usually get up early to pray and start my day, and I was just having a hard time. And on Tuesdays I even get up for 5 a.m. prayer and go to church, and it was so rough today, and spiritually I was just going through it. But I feel a little bit better being able to just pour out my emotion, and I believe that God is pouring back into me His mercy, His grace, and all of that. And so I have 1 minute left. I don't want to go beyond 15 minutes per episode. So I just want to thank you all for your amazing support. Follow me on social media. On all social media platforms, I rebranded myself. It's the ALH brand. THEALH brand, BRAND. Go follow me on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook. All right. I love y'all for listening, and I'll see y'all soon. Let's roll out that outro. Peace.